What's going on, Leo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an amazing week so far. Well, I guess I should say month for the monthly spreads, huh? For those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the best, Leo, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So Leo, it's that time. We're going to be doing the planetary energy spread. Can you tell I've been waiting for this one? And with these planetary energy spreads, it's like every time your ruler, the sun, moves into a different sign, I'm just going to talk about just where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies, okay? And then just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space, oh wait, all backwards, Leo. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, they got it together. Just great energy all around here, Leo. So Leo, I don't know if you can see out here, we got quite a spread this month because it's going to be a busy one. So I got oracle cards for every sign that a planet is in. The one for Aries and Scorpio is for the eclipse stuff, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I have a zodiac sign for each of the planets, and then we're going to do an oracle card for each cards and how we can work with the energies. But just so you all know, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they're making sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested, Leo. But let's talk about start with Taurus energy here, because with the sun will be entering Taurus on the 20th of April, depending on when you're watching this, and it will be in Taurus until the 5th, or excuse me, till the 5th, till the 20th of May this year. And with the sun, we'll start there because we got the sun, Mercury, Jupiter is going to be moving there, and we got Uranus. So it's a whole party in Taurus. But with the sun entering Taurus, this energy invites us to slow down and really kind of stabilize, and really is a time to kind of like really treat yourself and enjoy nature with how grounded Taurus energy can be. And they're ruled by Venus, the Empress. So they really know how to enjoy the finer things of life. And this is a great time too, for just kind of like for working smart and playing smart, really kind of finding that balance, but also be mindful of any sort of like stubbornness. Taurus can be stubborn energy sometimes, being a fixed sign. I mean, you can relate to that, Leo, not the stubborn part, but being a fixed sign. But, just something to think about with this energy. And then also, we got some shenanigans going down here because Mercury is going to be Mercury's been in Taurus since the 3rd of April and will be staying in there till the 11th of June. And why so long? Because of retrograde time. Have you been waiting for that, Leo? I know, super exciting. But Mercury's going to be going retrograde on the 21st of April and will be retrograde, or will go direct again on the 5th, or on May 14th. So that's something to keep in mind of Leo when Mercury is in retrograde. This affects like technology, our communication, and with Mercury retrograding in Taurus, this may affect your judgments and interactions when it comes to financial matters. And this is not even just you, this is just something just to pay attention to, that there may be just be extra mindful during this time. And the retrograde may also bring may kind of like enhance that bullheadedness a little bit, and could potentially create some further problems. So just be really mindful of this during this retrograde time, okay, Leo? Keep eyes on, and this is not not to get you to panic or anything. We just want to keep any, like I've been telling people, make sure that we keep any sort of like receipts, especially for any maybe like large purchases, anything along those lines. Check your emails if we're expecting any type of mail and stuff. Keep open communication. But the nice thing, once Mercury does go direct, You know, this brings about like steady, just really steady, patient, and like a realistic mind, because Mercury deals with how we communicate and how we think. And so now things are going to be kind of slowing down a little bit. And this gives us like extra perseverance and diligence for greater learning. And communication kind of takes on like just like a kind flair, you know, just like Taurus energy is feminine energy, even though, you know, big old bull there, but you may notice just like that your conversation, that your speech is just a little kinder, a little more nurturing, you know, because Taurus energy is very nurturing. Now, moving on. Jupiter's in Taurus. And Jupiter's going to be entering Taurus. Well, Jupiter will be entering Taurus a little bit later this month. It'll be entering on the 16th of May, and will be there until the 25th of May next year, on 2024. But I just want to talk about with Jupiter moving into Taurus here soon, because with this energy coming up, you know, even though we have Mercury, you know, being retrograde during this time, this is going to be a great time to look over finances and find chances for growth. You know, with Jupiter being a planet of expansion and a planet of higher learning, this is going to be a great time to really get financially savvy and find ways that you can really get your security down packed, Leo, and really work with this time, because, you know, Jupiter really rewards those who expand their knowledge. So, and this could be something where if a lot of it, because listen, I know when we get into like money things, that can all make our eyes cross sometimes. Even if we're not learning this stuff, at least like maybe partnering up someone, you know, getting like hitting up an expert, or maybe even just like watching some videos maybe on like YouTube or wherever, just to kind of get yourself educated about what's going down here. And that's going to be a big bonus too for the last planet that's in Taurus. Is Uranus is in Taurus, and Uranus will be there until 2025 of July. And Uranus's Taurus has been kind of wreaking havoc for like the last 7 years. It's been, you know, changing as far as like, you know, working from home, this stuff with the banks, you know, how just all types of stuff, changes to our security. But Uranus doesn't do this stuff to just keep us down there, Leo. Uranus is doing this to move out any sort of outdated models that are in this system, and allow for new stuff, new innovative ideas to come through. So Leo, this is really great energy for you to get creative, think outside of the box, and just like, yeah, do some, get yourself just back, you know, if we haven't been feeling secure, get your security back in line here. But let's get some tarot on this Taurus energy. Oh, yeah, okay. Get some energy on this Taurus energy and see how we can work with this, Leo. Oh, Leo, we want to work with this energy here, because don't panic, because you got the 5th card of Scorpios here, which is the thunderstorm card. And this is a card of power, destruction, trouble, electric display, a warning, out of control, energy shift, conflict, triumph over evil, fierce, booming, conflict, opportunity to overcome. So Leo, with this popping up, this is not something that you'd be like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a tough month for me. I feel like it can be a tricky one if we're just not planning ahead, if we're not being mindful of what's going down. I feel like this is a great, like, not necessarily, I don't take this as like something is impending is happening. Take this as just like a soft caveat, just like to just really kind of keep stuff like documents in line. And again, maybe be thinking about just like if we feel like we don't feel secure in our finances or in any aspect of our security, working on those things to prevent stuff from getting out of control, from becoming a disaster in all of this. And you know, Leo, if we've been maybe noticing things have been picking up, or we've been in this conflict for a while, depending on when you're coming this, let's say things have been kind of spilling over into this month. Again, this is even with how things are going down, this is an opportunity for you to reset whatever the situation that you may be in. If this is something that's resonating with you, this thunderstorm is not trying to just keep you down and keep you like locked in a tough spot. It's showing you this, like, hey, these are all the things that are happening. This is how we need to overcome. You know, we need, or how, or like, what ways can we think about overcoming this stuff? But this is going to be, you know, especially I feel like just with this retrograde time, you know, until I feel like really probably at least until we've just been feeling like in a precarious kind of place, just be extra mindful. But I feel like things will start to steady out once Mercury goes direct on top of Jupiter moving into Taurus. But let's see how we can work with this energy, Leo, and see how we can, let's get a little tarot on this, get some more details. And this is something too, Leo, you know, make sure that we're not ignoring any type of issues. Not that I feel like, because sometimes we just may not want to deal with some stuff if we got a bunch on our plate, but try not to let things fester, because that's going to put us in a weird place down the line. It's just going to make a lot more trouble for you than I feel like that it would be worth. All right. Interesting. All right, Leo. So you got the Devil card here. And I would be mindful with this Devil card, you know, just thinking with just the energies right now. We want to be mindful of any type of vices, any sort of like reckless behaviors, anything that's lowering your vibration. And it's, you know, we don't want this thing to get out of control, because we're going to talk about the eclipse stuff next, but there are energy shifts that are happening, Leo. And granted, it may not take effect like immediately, but you're already going to be starting to feel this stuff, and we're going to be feeling these energy shifts for months, you know, to come. So this is a time, if we know that there are some sort of like vices or any type of like situations, because maybe this could be if we're in like a destructive, like maybe we're in like a toxic relationship, or excuse me, or maybe some sort of like weird thing at work that's going down, whatever. But if there's something that's, you know, affecting your security, and I mean in every aspect, your financial, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual security, let's get eyes on that, and let's figure out how we can either set up some boundaries, maybe possibly even changing up our environment altogether, you know. But yeah, don't be careful with Devil moments during this time, and be aware of where your thoughts are at, because, you know, the thoughts can be an uplifting thing, or they can bring us down, Leo, and they can cause a lot of chaos. So yeah, just something to be mindful of, okay? Let's see what else. Okay, Leo. Interesting. Okay, so you have the Magician in reverse, and then we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And you know what, Leo? If we're in something, or let's say down the line, if something happens, I feel like that, don't feel like that you have to do these things by yourself. It's, you know, I feel that currently we can work on, we can get ahead of this, you know, and not to say that there's something coming, but we can do some like prep right now, you know, like I was talking with Jupiter entering Taurus, getting ourselves set up for getting our security set up, even this little bit, you know, even with Mercury retrograde. Sure, things are a little wonky right now, but retrograde times are a great time of reflection, and to think about, you know, what areas are we not feeling secure in, especially with Mercury being in Taurus, and working on those tools, refining that stuff, but and really brainstorming. But if this is something that either things have gotten out of hand, or we feel that, you know, we're not sure how to maybe build up our security, don't be afraid to reach out to others with the Three of Pentacles. You know, especially with, you know, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but, you know, with Pluto being in Aquarius, this is a great time to network because things are changing, Leo. There's talk about energy shifts. I mean, last month was just like back to back, just back to back. And now it's, you know, we're in eclipse season right now, retrogrades. I mean, it's just like there's a lot. Jupiter's moving. It's a lot that's going down. So don't feel like that you have to take all of this on by yourself, because that can be something of a devil moment too. Pride, feeling that you have to figure this all out, or that you don't need help, or that, you know, whatever that's looking like. And listen, Leo, that's not me coming at you, but we just don't want you to be in a place where it's okay to ask for help if that's something that's resonating with you. If you find and this is not just even during this month, Leo, this is just in general, you know, if you find yourself just stuck, you know, or feel like there's something that you're missing, or that someone can provide, look into this stuff. Work with these people. Work with these energies so that things don't get out of hand. But even if, and now I'm just, you know, just kind of thinking with this opportunity and stuff to overcome. Even if something goes down and it's not ideal, you are the silver lining on this, in this thunderstorm, Leo, once these clouds clear, is that you're going to get more skills. Who knows? Maybe you will even make some comrades along the way. You know, make some friends that'll come along with the soul tribe and really can kind of help raise this vibration with you. But yeah, this is just something to be mindful of. You know, just if we just happen to be in something, Leo. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay. All right, Leo, last little bit here. Nice. You got the star card here, Leo. And so with the star card, this is a card of healing, because this thunderstorm, to me, this almost feels like a tower moment here. And I feel that we really can, if we're not in some type of situation right now, I feel like this is a really great time, Leo. And I mean, really, just in general, just to if we're not sure where to go, or, you know, how to get the security to connect to source, connect to higher self, spirit, God, Buddha, Jesus, you know, however we connect to the source. But listening to that internal guidance and seeing where the energies are trying to lead you, and figure out like because, you know, even in this, because, you know what, Leo, let's flip this narrative a little bit. You know, maybe there's something that, just like maybe we've been thinking with everything that's been going down, it's just like, how can we bring, like, I don't know, healing or something along those lines too. Like, how do I want to put this? You know, because it's like, let me pause for a second. It's like, if we've been noticing that, you know, things have been kind of collapsing around us, not necessarily in our lives, but it's just like we've noticed things, maybe like community things or something along those lines, and we're feeling compelled to maybe like wanting to change something, you know. I feel like this can even be great energy for you to fill in the space, because like with all these changes and things, Leo, there's a lot of opportunities that are coming up, and not just like that are people that can give you opportunities, that you can create your own things. Like, if people have been hit hard, let's say, for example, you've noticed in like your neighborhood or something, your community, that they've been hit hard with like the money changes and things like that. Maybe we can take a destructive situation and bring some healing. You can be the sun, Leo. Bring in some hope, bring in some healing for, like, I mean, just however big you want to think. But that just kind of, I know that seems kind of grand, Leo, and that kind of but it just popped in my head. So something to think about. But also, this is a great time. I just feel like if we just maybe got out of a thunderstorm moment, just to take some time with the star card and do some healing and get your energies back, right, Leo? Process what went down here, what growth that you got from this, and expand from there and take that on to the next chapter. So, all right, now interesting start there. A little chaotic to go through, but that's You know what? I feel like that's a good thing. Get the chaos out the way, Leo, because then it's going to be all uphill from here. All right. Now let's talk about this hybrid solar eclipse that's happening in Aries. Because the hybrid solar eclipse, this is happening between the 19th and the 20th. You know, I think it's officially on the 20th of April, depending on when you come across this. But the hybrid solar eclipse is a very rare eclipse. It happens like maybe once a decade, and it's like a combination of like a total solar eclipse and an annular eclipse. So it's just like the annular is like where you got a cool little red ring around the moon, but around the spheres. But with it happening on it's happening on the last degree of Aries, which is the 29th. There's 30 degrees it starts from 0 to 29. You're going to get a whole lesson here, Leo. And that last degree is called the anaretic degree, which is which represents like the end of a karmic cycle. So it's like Aries at its most mature energy, you know, we've gone through all of the aspects of Aries, and now we're at like our prime Emperor energy. So this is a massive event for authenticating yourself and your destiny, because that's where Aries, you know, they live in the first house, and that is the house of self. So really, Leo, setting your intentions during this eclipse, figuring out what does a high vibration Leo look like, and what do you want to accomplish, what do you want to create, how big do you want to shine. But let's get some oracles on this to see how we can work with this energy here. I was deciding, I do a little pause there, because I was like, do I want to do them for both, or do I want to do, I think we're going to do one for both. Because we got two eclipses that are going to be coming up here, Leo. All right, but let's see what your first card is for this eclipse. Interesting. All right, Leo. So you got the 8th card of Libras here, which is the blinders card. And we want to be mindful with that, because with this blinders card, this is a card of victim mentality, confusion, tunnel vision, resist clarity, confirmation bias, restriction, narrow focus, echo chamber, denial, oblivious, out of touch, hyper focus, and concentration. And Leo, that's these last two things, the hyper-focus, the concentration, that's where we want to be. We want to be where we're figuring out what is that, what is like the next chapter look like? You know, what is your star card? What type of potential are you feeling, and how do we further refine that? That's where we want our concentration to be. But if we get into this place where we're ignoring change, Leo, it's stuck in devil moments where things are holding us down, and this can be it could be a number of things, Leo. This doesn't just have to be where we're talking about finances. This could be anything that's lowering your vibration: drugs, sex, alcohol, people, thought mentalities, anything. We want to get eyes on this stuff. We don't want to resist clarity. We want all the clarity that we can, Leo, and grow. Because if we keep these blinders on, Leo, that's how thunderstorms happen, that's how tower moments happen, and then this journey is uncomfortable. And because higher self gives us, I feel like, a window. I've been talking about this with the tower. I feel like, especially with the tower pops up in reverse, we have a chance to take this power and take change into our hands, and to go into this willingly and gracefully. But if it's one thing because I'm just thinking with the confusion, it's one thing if we're not sure, that's a whole other thing. That's the whole point of this, is to sit down and think about some things that you would want to pursue. We don't have to look for answers outside of yourself, Leo. The answers are all right here. What do you want? Where do you see yourself? And then we go about that. But don't let confusion stop you from growth. If you're like, well, I don't know where I'm going to go, so, we're just kind of wandering around, just sort of like going on autopilot. It's not to say that, life won't be, great, but it's just like things might be a little tricky. But let's get some tarot on this and get a little bit more into this, Leo. All right, yeah, because that's where we want to be, Leo. More? Oh, okay. Easy one. So with this, with the Eight of Swords popping up in reverse, we want to get out of our head. We don't want to be in this place of tunnel vision where we're resisting change, where we're restricting ourselves, because that's what happens when we stay caught up in ourselves. And you see, this is Jupiter and Gemini here, and Jupiter's weakened in Gemini, and that's just you know, just because where the angles fall. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, one of the signs that it rules, and it's in detriment in Gemini, but that's not to say just because the energy is weaker, that doesn't mean we can still work with it. But it's just something that we got to put in a little extra effort there, Leo. But that whole thing to say, if your thought process is keeping you restricted, then you're restricting your fortune. It's not, you're not cutting it off, but we're not getting as much from source as we could. You know, we're getting like maybe half this amount or a quarter of this amount, as opposed to if we were to open ourselves up, think broad, think that we can embrace this change, that we will get through this stuff. Ask for help if we need to. But the Eight of Swords, this is a self-imposed prison, Leo. So the nice thing, if we have been kind of stuck in a devil moment, kind of caught up in our heads, you can break down this prison whenever you're ready, because you have, look at you. You have all the tools, Leo. So this is something, just be careful, Leo. You know, just kind of how things are starting off here. This is a great time for change, and it may feel a little weird at first, you know, like maybe with the, you know, or just like with all the adjustments, but it's, and you know, just thinking with the echo chamber, there may be a lot of opinions going around, you know, maybe we've been hearing, you know, whatever, Leo. Just really listen to your instincts right now, follow the healing, follow the growth, and everything is going to be wonderful. You know, focus on you right now, and you're in all of that, Leo. I'm with that. Now, let's get into the next eclipse, which is going to be a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And that's going to happen on the 5th of May. And with this, Scorpio energy, you know, they're the most intense sign of the zodiac. But I like Scorpio energy because they bring that transformative energy. If we didn't have Scorpio energy, then things we would. Can you imagine no growth? It would be a hot mess. So Scorpio energy, where it can feel intense, because this energy, it may bring up some, like, you know, some past, you know, maybe some trauma, maybe some things that we've been keeping buried down. But the nice thing about Scorpio energy is that when they bring that energy up, they take trauma, they take, you know, any type of damage, whatever that's happened to them, and they turn it into power. They turn it into growth. And this is going to be something too, Leo, that your psychic awareness is going to be heightened. So this is a great time for just really being receptive. The energies are just ripe right now to strengthen that connection with your higher self, to get some guidance, how we can work with the gifts that we have, Leo. Because, I mean, come on, you're the sun. I mean, and the sun, I mean, it's considered, you know, one of the, if not the most pivotal point of our zodiac placement. And if that's your sun sign, we want to make the most out of that tool. You know, you really allow that light to shine its brightest, Leo, because just as necessary as transformation, the sun brings vitality and stuff. So allow yourself to transform into that great, every star, you know, become that sun. But oh yeah, I was gonna post, like, I'm getting it together, Leo. Let's get an oracle on this. You know, Leo, it's always so funny. Every time, just a little sidebar. Every time you're like the first one that I start off every new week. You're the first sign that I do. So I feel like it's always like a little awkward making that shift at first. Just like, so that'll pass, I'm sure. But just something to just be aware of, Leo, when you're just like, what's this bumbling guy doing, just rambling on? Interesting, Leo. Let's go. So you got the fifth card. We got fifth card of Capricorns here, which is the Dear John card. And the Dear John card is a card of rejection, cold hard truth, breaking up, set boundaries, divorce, strained situation, it's not you, it's me, the end, final word, cutting cords, and something's not working. And this is going to be great energy for you, Leo. If there's already something going down right now, we don't have to wait for these energies to get here, especially if we're in something that doesn't, you know, it's feeling destructive, or, you know, it's chaotic, it may be toxic, or whatever this is. I feel like that if this is like a person, or people, for example, I feel like this is going to be, take this month to really, because this feels like you're setting up your security in all, every facet here, Leo. We're setting boundaries, because that's something that's very important, because the people that we keep around us, Leo, are going to affect our ability to manifest and all of that. So if we're noticing people that have been, and Leo, if this is something where, if this is like a relationship, just even thinking with this divorce thing, you know, I feel that before we make this decision, you know, just like, we can have this discussion. You know, I'm not sure how your situation's looking, but if this is something where I feel like we can discuss this thing, and maybe we can remedy some stuff, I say, you know, do what you feel like you need to do, Leo. But I do feel that if we've been maybe staying stuck in a situation because we're afraid of breaking up or taking that divorce or whatever, listen, Leo, take it from me. It's a lot worse. I feel like it's the buildup is actually a lot worse than when you actually go to do the thing. You know, it doesn't have to be where this, you know, I just feel like that we just, and this is what I was talking about, be mindful of our thoughts, because if we're making this whole big thing, you know, then what it could be, then that may be what happens. At least that's the energy that might be fueling it. So it's, Leo, it may not be ideal, but if this is something that you need to take this step, rip the Band-Aid off. You're going to feel so much better when you do it, as opposed to just pulling one strand thing one at a time, and, you know, each hair's getting pulled. Like, we don't want to drag this thing out. So, and even just thinking with like the setting boundaries, it will last a little bit here. You know, how I was saying, like cutting cords. I don't even feel like this is necessarily like cutting people out, but it's just like, if you notice that you're working on your self-improvement and others are not vibing, then it's just like, we can just set boundaries, just like, okay, well, this is where my focus is going to be, and maybe when we're vibing on the same level again, you'll meet back up. But don't let that, stay focused on your growth, Leo. But let's get some tarot on this. All right, Leo, you got the World here, and this is a big question that you seem like, so far, Leo, this is going to be, I feel like, a lot of adjustment and a lot of restructuring of things. And this could be, you know, just kind of where how these energies are coming out, Leo. This might be a good time to clean up house, you know, just kind of see how your world's looking. If this is how you visualize everything in your life being, and if not, what steps can we take to adjust that? Because even thinking about this, Leo, just like, because you got Saturn here. Saturn rules over both Capricorn and Aquarius. And I bring that up to say that whatever this situation is, this is going to be a lot of work. I feel like this is going to be a lot of adjusting, just like, you know, because Capricorn is the hardest working sign in the zodiac. But I do feel like that this is a good time to, you know, while we're working out, you know, maybe while if we're noticing that, you know, like, sure, people may be falling out in our lives, I do feel like that when we make that space, new friends come in, you know, more soul tribe people come in, and, you know, that just like resonate with us. So this may feel like at first that, you know, that maybe if whatever this adjustment might be looking, because it looks like you're kind of doing almost like an overhaul here, just kind of how these energies are coming out. But if we've noticed that, know that all you're doing is making space. It's not just going to be just letting go and cutting ties and just like take. You know, it's that we had to adjust some things, because Saturn is the planet of restrictions and karma, limitations. But when we work on those things, work on that growth and learn new tools and things along those lines, then Saturn can reward just as handsome as Jupiter does. But yeah, we just have to put in that work for us. work first. Okay, any more? All right. Okay, pretty easy with that eclipse stuff there, Leo. But yeah, be mindful of that. But all right, let's get to the Gemini energy here, because the Empress Venus is in. She entered Gemini pretty early this month. She entered at about the 11th of April, and she'll be there through the 6th of May. And with Venus being in Gemini, this is relationships and love and all of that. They're going to take on a more kind of lighthearted and cerebral type of energy, just because Gemini is can be very flirtatious energy, very fun, very curious, just intelligent energy, ruled by one of the signs ruled by Mercury. So it's not like I feel like this is not a great time for love, but this is going to be more so. I feel like this is a better networking type of energy than it would be for love. This would be like, I feel like good kind of like flirting phase right now. This is like, if we're not sure if we want to maybe, go on a date with someone or something along those lines, just to kind of feel it out, but this is good, just like fun, social light energy. And this energy also encourages us to think about, because Venus deals with abundance, and it can deal with materials and wealth and things along those lines. Venus also encourages us, being in Gemini, to invest in things that enrich our mind, so any type of magician stuff, any type of learning, any type of skills that you've wanted to refine, or maybe something new that you wanted to do, while you're going through this adjustment here, Leo, this is a great energy to work with that. But let's see, let's get some, oh, okay, look at that. That was easy. Oh, interesting, Leo. Okay, yeah. So you got the 8th card of, interesting. Okay, you got the 8th card of Aquarius here. I'm just seeing some numbers here, Leo, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. You got the fish hook card. a lot going on here, Leo. And with this card, this is a card of powerless, feeling helpless, paralyzed, vulnerable, trap, temptation, bait, con game, great catch, luck, prosperity, resourcefulness, abundance, and multiplication principle. Now, this is interesting, Leo, because if we've been feeling powerless or helpless, paralyzed, whatever, if any of that resonates with you in whether this is with a person or a situation, it could be, when I say situation, this could be maybe we're feeling powerless in work, maybe there's something, maybe just, or just any sort of external thing that has us feeling powerless, maybe something has gone down with health or whatever that is. I feel like that this is time to really, just kind of work on that self-esteem, Leo, and focus on what is this situation, if this is something that's resonating with you. And if not, just being mindful of energies. If you feel something that's got you feeling helpless, or where your intuition is kind of telling you that this is some kind of weird energy, be aware of that, because we don't want to end up in any kind of weird destructive situations where we got to do any kind of weird breakups or anything along those lines. Just thinking, just with Mercury going to be in retrograde for the time that it is, being mindful of just a lot that's going down. Being mindful of whom we're communicating with, as far as if people try to sell you some kind of get rich quick scheme, or just if something doesn't feel right, really trust your intuition, because it's just, this is a tricky time. Mercury going retrograde, Venus being in Gemini, people kind of feeling more social. Just something to be mindful of, Leo. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this last little bit here, your luck, your prosperity, resourcefulness, abundance, because these are the things that I feel like are going to come for you when we start working on these, on this stuff here, focusing on your growth, I almost feel like that not to say that you know, it wouldn't benefit you socializing and things, Leo, but I feel like that this, for you know, depending on how this is resonating with you, this might be a good time to just kind of focus on you, focus on building up your luck, your prosperity, your abundance, and so in working with your energies, getting yourself back in line here, getting you feeling that you're your brightest, your biggest, your baddest, your best, you know, and because there's so much luck around here and prosperity and resourcefulness, but we have to go out and get it. We have to work on these energies and work on this growth. So let's get some tarot on this, Leo, get some more details. All right, let's see what we got here. Interesting. Yep. So you got the Two of Cups in reverse here, Leo. And really, there's a lot of emphasis here, Leo, on just if things aren't feeling harmonious, if something doesn't feel right, then we need to really trust that intuition and really, Leo, take some time to get in touch with your higher self, you know, that inner voice, that instinct, that gut feeling. I find some good ways and really fantastic ways, you know, kind of knock a couple things out of here, Leo. One good way to connect with the source is doing some things that you really love doing, you know, really expressing yourself, whether that be through art, through dance, through maybe you do like, even through the internet, you do like graphic designs, you know, just creation. When we're in a creative space, I feel like that's a great way to connect with yourself. So then you're more receptive to the signs. Another thing, maybe getting out in nature, just doing some things. This is Venus in Cancer. And that to me is just like nurturing energy to the max. That's like that's filling your all your cups, your personal cups, yourself and your higher self, your soul's cups, and really getting that, doing things that bring us harmony, Leo. That's really going to help you get through whatever devil situation, thunderstorm, Dear John, fish hook, all of this. But if we keep it, you know, if we get to this place where we start ignoring those signals and start doubting ourselves and things, you're just going to get caught in weird situations. And it's just, I don't feel like, again, that your prosperity and such is going to just vanish, but it just makes it hard to access when our stuff is clouded with dark storms and, you know, madness. So I really think that if you've just been in some kind of something, it's time to change up our environment, you know, maybe hang around different people. I mean, I don't want to say, you know, like if we can move, you know, maybe this is something, maybe we've been thinking about maybe moving ourselves all together from like maybe to a different state or to a different country or something. I don't know what degree this is looking like, Leo, but you know, don't keep yourself in this like trap state or just state of disharmony and things, because that really isn't going to be conducive to your health or anything down the lines here. Mark? Oh, okay. All right, that's it there, Leo. So let's get on to the next card, which is Mars in Cancer. And Mars has been in Cancer for a little bit. I want to say Mars entered Cancer on the 25th of March and will be there until the 19th of May. And with Mars being in Cancer, this is a great time if we've been just thinking with that confusion, if we've been feeling uncertain about what direction we want to go in life. Mars is a planet of action, and Cancerians, my son's in Cancer, Cancerians, when they go, because they're one of the cardinal signs, one of the initiators, and when we go to do something, in order for us to really, I feel like to really get the most out of something, it really has to resonate with us. Like it really has to, we have to feel that this is the right thing to do, or that this is going to fill up all of our cups. And you can take this energy, Leo, and ask yourself, what are things that fill your cup? What are some passions? And then use this Mars energy as fuel to get these things off the ground. Because Mars in Cancer, that's a weird placement for Mars, just because Mars is more action oriented as opposed to just feeling these things out. So it might be a little tricky, but it's something that when we work with that energy, man, is it going to be worth it. And with Saturn being in Pisces supporting that dream work, absolutely, Leo, work with this stuff. But also be mindful, just because with Mars in Cancer, Mars can be very aggressive energy, has the potential, and Cancerian has the potential to be very emotional, get swept up in them. So that's something that we want to be aware of as well, that we don't get caught up. Remember I was talking about Mercury retrograding, bullheadedness might be going down. So we just want to be aware of any type of emotional things and just all of that, Leo. You're just going to we want to be proactive during this time, not reactive. We were reactive, that's how thunderstorms start, and then things, devil moments, and it just kind of spirals down. So let's get some oracle cards. We'll get an oracle card on this in the mix here. Okay, Leo. All right. Oh, look at that. All right. So you got the third card of Cancers for your Cancer card, and that is the Constellation card. And the Constellation is a card of network, support, associates, or associates. We're either or, Leo. Gathered, meetings, socialize, organization, arrangement, a collection, exchanging data, influence, in connection with a large amount or quantity. And Leo, just with how this reading has kind of been so far, I do feel that just if any of that's resonating with you, this would be a good time to just be aware of our social circle. Who are we networking with? Are they providing us any sort of support? And if not, how do we arrange that? How do we switch this up and get things back on track here? But I also feel with this energy, just if we've been feeling kind of stuck, maybe just confused with things, maybe all this is just if this tumultuous energy is something that's been resonating with you, maybe there is something that's just I don't know if we're confused about something or just it's frustrated, but again, find that support. Don't feel like you have to go through this thing by yourself, and reach out to someone, because I bet you, Leo, people want to help you and want to see you thrive and get through this. But you have to let until we're able to communicate psychically, Leo. We have to communicate this stuff and let people know. We're not all mind readers. So that's at least not yet. But Let's get a little bit more on this energy, Leo, and then let's get a little bit more on this, and then we'll break the gear. Interesting. Okay, so you got the Ace of Wands that popped up here, and Leo. I almost feel like for some others, I'm just there's this vibe that if this is something that has been going down, I'm just getting if this has been a community vibe, or if we've been wanting to maybe change up something on just a larger level, could be in our neighborhood, maybe in a city, state, whatever. If we've been thinking about doing something along those lines, I feel like it's worth exploring that. Start networking and seeing what ways that we can maybe start improving some things, especially if you've been wanting a change. I mean, Leo, you're great at sign for leadership. You're king of the zodiac. So this is something that, yeah, if you've been sitting on like an idea or something along those lines like that, I feel like give it a try, see where it'll take you. The only crazy ideas are the ones that aren't being implemented right now, Leo. So, and that's going to be for like always. So just settle in there, one, but don't be afraid, I feel like, with this Ace of Wands one to try this. But for some others, just if we've been noticing that we've been resisting change, or if things haven't been going our way, it just feels like that. It's just been kind of like resistance. You know, we gotta, I feel like, really take some action on that. Maybe ask some people, you know, maybe it's something where if we're just like, let me get a little bit more on that Ace of Wands there, Leo, because I feel like there's something else in here, because this is, interesting. Okay. So Leo, anymore. With this Ace of Wands, I just feel like that, yeah, if we've been feeling stuck or anything along those lines, with this Nine of Swords popping up in reverse here, it's time to do some stuff. Because look, now we got 8 swords, 9 of Swords. It's time to do things, both in reverse. So we're doing things to get a lot of emphasis. Doing things to get ourselves out of our head, get ourselves out of this rut. And Leo, really, if this is something that happens, you know, like, just be aware of that. Like if you notice a situation going down where it's just like, oh, okay, this might have been this was the swords, this was the devil moment, or whatever. This is the thunderstorm. Breathe for a second. It's just like, okay, what can I do right now? How can I handle this in the present? Oh, you know, because if we get into this future stuff, what's happening, it becomes a whole mess. So, yeah, there's just emphasis. Just like, try not to get your place in a way of being stuck, or try not to let things that, and really, you know, if this is like health, if this is people, if this is, I don't know, maybe hydrating more, moving the body, apply it to your situation, but don't ignore this, Leo. More. Let's see what else we got. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, Leo. Last little bit here. 10 of Cups in reverse. And so, if we haven't been feeling like, if things have been kind of crappy, or if we just don't feel that this is how we viewed our journey up until this point, you know, the 10 of Cups, this is saying, you know, then create it, Leo, manifest it. But this is something that we can't just keep putting the blinders on and wondering what's going down or why everything is happening to us. We have to face reality for what it is. This is the situation. Here are my steps. You know, what can I control in this time? Because the nice thing about the future is it's a reflection of what's going down in the present. So if we can get some of this stuff all figured out here, look at that, you're changing the future there, Leo. So just be aware of that. You know, this is thoughts become things, and if we're telling ourselves that there's no abundance, that we're not happy, that we're all this stuff, then that's what's going to permeate in your world, Leo, and it's going to be uncomfortable for a little while. So just something to meditate on, okay? But let's move to Pisces energy, because now we have two contenders here. We have Saturn in Pisces, and then we have Neptune in Pisces. And let's talk about Saturn in Pisces, just because kind of seeing with your reading, this, I feel like Saturn in Pisces would really be, you know, this is something that's just if we're kind of lost or something along those lines. And Leo, that's something, if you're not, don't tell yourself that you're lost. You're on a discovery, Leo. Really, this mind stuff is going to be really important. You know, the things that we tell ourselves, uplifting things, Leo. But Saturn in Pisces. Saturn's going to be in Pisces. Entered Pisces like early last month, and what was it? The 20th, 21st? I don't quite remember, but it was in sometime towards the end of March, and Saturn will be in Pisces until about last week of May 2025. But with Saturn being in Pisces, this is actually a really dope placement for Saturn, because sure, Saturn is a planet of restrictions, limitations, but with Pisces being, very dreamy energy, very creative, very much about the collective, very compassionate energy. Saturn's going to take all that dreamy energy, and it's just like he's asking us, what do you want? Like, oh, these are your dreams? Let's manifest them. You've been manifesting nightmare. If you've been living in a nightmare for however long, well, Saturn's giving you the energy to change that, Leo. Oh, lovely. Well, that was a nice little combo there. But this is a great time, Leo, for you're making your dreams come true, and getting a game plan for that. Because really, there's no crazy idea right now. It's just like we have to figure we got to get a little creative, get a little inventive, or, a little innovative maybe of how it's initiated. But things can get done, Leo. Saturn is here for that. And if we ignore this stuff, we're going to feel that pressure. We're going to feel that anxiety. We may result in may return to escapism or anything along those lines to just kind of make that void. But you want to be mindful of that, Leo. This is not a time to run away from our dreams. This is a time to face our fears and then to manifest our dreams. So, and then with Neptune being in Pisces. Neptune's been in Pisces for a while. Neptune stays in a sign for I think it's like 12 to 14 years. And with Neptune being in Pisces to the end of March 2025. And Neptune in Pisces is a very dreamy energy. Neptune is one of Pisces' rulers. And it's a very dreamy energy, very compassionate. This is a great time for you want to talk about constellations and socializing and stuff. I really feel like Neptune in Pisces, that energy, that building of a soul tribe, that building of empathy, expressing compassion, that's going to be really important, I feel like, going into, while Neptune is in Pisces these last couple of years. Really establishing a strong connection with people, being with like-minded energies to raise that, are focusing on raising the vibration and in growth. And that's where I feel like Neptune and Pisces energy shines. But I feel like also, just because Neptune can deal with fantasies, Neptune's at home. So she's going to be feeling a little dreamy, might kind of get lost in her thoughts and things, and just kind of wants to kind of chill from the world. We don't want to put the blinders on. We got to be mindful of thunderstorms and, don't ignore things, Leo. We got to be on top of this stuff. But Neptune and Pisces also, last little thing. Great time. I was talking about you got a lot of higher self cards here with the Star for me and like the Two of Cups. Great time to get in touch with your spirituality and however that looks like, Leo. Get into whatever. Strengthen that connection with that bond, and I really feel like that's going to pay off in the long run. But let's get an oracle card on this and see how we can work with this energy. All right, Leo. Oh, interesting. Okay, Leo. So you got the 6th card of Virgos here, which is the Sap card. And this is a card of resources, needed material, flow, wealth, essence of life, spring, blood, nourishment, sweetness, energy, vitality, grounded, roots, abundant, physical health, and life force. And Leo, this is what I feel that we need to focus on. With all this, just how this thing that came down, focus on this, on you during this time, during this next, at least for the next month. I mean, make it a routine to work on you always. But at least for this next month, let's really tune into where our energies are going, how's our vitality feeling? Are we feeling abundant? How's our health, our life force, all of that. Ask these questions and check mind, body, soul, and see if there are things, any devil situations that are sapping this, any 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords that are keeping us trapped, that are whatever this is. This is a great time for you, Leo, for adjustments and improvements. So work with this energy. And really, you're the sun. The sun is our energy, is our vitality. So you are just boundless energy, and that is something that the sun, you want to be mindful with that, Leo, because everybody wants the sunlight, but not everyone. I don't want to say not everyone deserves the sunlight, but not everyone has the best intentions for that light. So if we're just seeing that, we're noticing things in work, in life, in people, whatever avenues. How can we adjust that? How can we stop this from leaching any type of solar energy that you're working with, Leo? But let's get some oracle cards on this, or excuse me, some tarot cards, and get some more details on this. Because you really are, Leo. You're the essence of life. Your energy, it's precious, and we need to be mindful of our resources. Our energy is one of our resources. Let's see what we got here, Leo. Interesting. I'm with this because you got the Three of Swords in reverse here, and I like your swords. I feel like that once if we've been kind of caught up in our head, Leo, or maybe if this is people, maybe people have got us feeling some kind of way, maybe telling us things, keeping us down, possibly. Or pay attention to the stuff that you're watching, pay attention to the things that you're listening to. And I mean, not just like podcasts and things, but like music as well. Because really when we want to protect our energy, Leo, we want to protect it from all standpoints. And it might feel like a lot, but let me tell you, having your energy sapped is even more a lot. But this really feels like that because Three of Swords, this is another card of healing, of like we're recovering. And you know what? If we are recovering from this stuff, allowing yourself this time to heal, maybe this is something that if we need support, dope. But if not, maybe support has been trying to reach out to you. Maybe it's just been kind of a lot. Let people know. It's just like, hey, I appreciate your kind words, your high vibrations, but right now I just need to. Got it. I got eyes on it, but now we're healing. We're strengthening that back up. Give me maybe a cycle to kind of give this sort of give me a solar cycle to get this kind of figured out here, but. Leo, just thinking about this, if you happen to check your chart, we're going to talk about that a little later, but if you happen to check your chart, sun aspects for you are going to be important, just pay attention to all this, Leo, just like, but this really does feel like a time, just like really an emphasis on healing, and it's not to say like if you're not going through a situation, then just seeing where we can improve, where we can feel that we can get more energy, whether that's eating, changing up our diets, moving the bodies, all that stuff, Leo. But let's get a little bit more on this. Interesting. All right, Saturn in Pisces, and you know what? Normally in this Eight of Cups, there's an eclipse in this background here. So, Leo, Eight of Cups, if there are things that are lowering our vibrations, that are no longer serving us a purpose, that are hindering our growth, it's time to think about walking away from this stuff and making space for some newness, making space for self-improvement and just because I mean, this is, and listen, it's not to say during this time, it's like I'm not saying that you got to have it all figured out by like the 20th, by when this eclipse is happening. This time is just to get you in the thought process of it. Really start thinking about how we're going to tackle this over maybe this period of time, what that's looking like, so ask yourself these questions, Leo, and be honest with yourself. If you're just something if you got like a certain food that makes you feel kind of crappy, but it's your favorite, but at the same time, it's just like, I'll tell you what, little sidebar. Ice cream. Ice cream's dope. But ice cream and I don't get along. Like, not even a little bit. Especially as I gotten older, it's just like, no. And it's just one of those things. It's just like, well, okay. And it's like, could we have hung on to that? Sure, but I would have felt awful. But you know what? The lovely thing about that, when I cut out the ice cream, guess what I discovered? Gelato. And that seriously was just like heaven in a cup. So, Nate, there's a little sidebar there, Leo. But you never know. You might think that letting go of something is going to be a lot harder than it is. But then the thing that comes in to sub that, just as sweet, Leo. So just something to think about. More. Let's see what. Oof, boy, that would have been. All right, all right. Let's see what else we got here, Leo. Absolutely, Two of Wands, Leo. More. Okay. It's time to get a game plan. Figure out what you want to do, how we gonna do it, when we gonna do it, and then let's take some action, Leo. That's yeah. I'm gonna leave that there. Let's get into the last card here, which is, we got Pluto in Aquarius. Now, Pluto is going to be going retrograde on the 1st of May. And it will be going retrograde until the 11th of June. Then we'll move back into Capricorn for the duration of the year. But with Pluto being in Aquarius and retrograding in Aquarius, this is global changes are going to be happening. I mean, they're already happening. You thought the thunderstorms were coming, or you thought the thunderstorms were here. This was like a prelude. This whole period of time, just like from now up until the 11th of June, Pluto's just giving us a little flavor of what's getting ready to happen next year when it moves into Aquarius in the 21st of January, 2024. This is just a flavor of what's going to get ready to settle in for like the next, literally, couple of decades, Leo. So you do not want to have blinders on during this time. We want to see the storm for what it is and figure out how we can navigate through this energies. Because, I mean, just to give you an example, some things that were going on the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, this was around the time when the American Constitution was ratified. And then this was the French and Industrial Revolution was going on. Big, innovative stuff. Aquarius deals with technology, with the humanitarianism. It's going to be a mad shift. But it's going to be an exciting time, Leo. And what better person? When I was getting that energy about maybe making in space for new and that type of stuff, be great energy for that, Leo. But let's get an oracle card on this and see what's going down. All right, Leo. Interesting. All right. So we got the first card of Libras here, which is a sword and scales. And with this card, this is a card of truth, justice, due process, by the book, appeal, balance, make amends, law, integrity, cut to the chase, fair and square, fair play, equity, even keel, legal matters, and hear me out. And so, just with this card, Leo, if we are in some sort of legal thing, however that's looking like, because maybe that's what's kind of got us kind of caught up right now. Maybe, just I don't feel like this is a lot, but just if we're caught up in some sort of law thing or any sort of ties with the court, I feel like, try not to let this get to where it's affecting you, or, because I know that's hard, especially if this is maybe a divorce or a trial or something along those lines. But I feel like it's one of those things yes, it may suck in that moment, but you're going to, this cycle is going to end. And then this is a time to reflect, figure out what happened. How do we even get in this situation? So, but I will say, even just now that I said about that divorce, and you remember how I was talking about that, if we need to take a step, if we feel like we're in something that's got us trapped or feeling helpless, don't feel afraid to take these steps, to maybe take legal actions, you know. But let's get a little bit more on this energy, Leo, and then I can get some more on this story, on this last little card here, because the one big thing that really just kind of stuck out for me, for you, just with this, just how this energy is the balance aspect of it, and really getting yourself back in balance, getting yourself everything where it's even keel. Absolutely, this was right. Thanks, higher self, because that's more so what I'm kind of feeling for this card, like, and not to take away from the legal matters, if that's something, you know, get eyes on this, you know, take care of this situation. But I feel like that if we've been feeling out of whack here, King of Cups, you know, he's thrown down an ocean, and there's a lot that's going down in the ocean, because there's a lot that's going down in life. And if that's got us just in a panic, where we're just like, where we're not focusing on things, where we're trying to, like, you know, got the blinders on and distracting ourselves, and just like our head and our heart are in alignment, Leo, you don't want to stay in that type of place. You know, you want to try to take action and get ourselves back in balance with this King of Cups being in reverse here. Figure out, be with those emotions that you're feeling, and let those guide you, because your emotions do not define you. They are there to give you their signals, to help you figure out what game plan can we do to get out of this thing, you know, and get us back to where we're feeling balanced, and feeling back where we're in, you know, kind of in some sort of control of this thing. Or let's see what else we got. Interesting. Four of Swords in reverse. One of Libra's cards. And with the Four of Swords, Leo, rest up. Take some time from this thing, because this is a lot that's going down here. Any more? All right, Leo, hold on about this. Let's switch back over. Because this seems like a lot, Leo, that's going down here with this just this energy here. And so if you do find yourself just like in times of just feeling overwhelmed and a lot of anxiety or something along those lines, don't feel afraid to just like take a moment for yourself. Or maybe if we're stuck with something, or like, I don't know, feel like reaching out to people. I just don't feel like, whatever this is, don't feel like that the weight of the world is on your shoulders, or something along those lines, because this seems like a lot of pressure, you know. All right, I think we're back. Okay, sorry about that, Leo. Stuff with the world. Stuff with the world. I actually I'm getting the issue resolved today, so we're back. And where was I at? I think I was just saying this is a whole lot, Leo. So just take this time and be with this energy. And if we're coming into, and if this is something that happens to transpire, or maybe we get into a situation, keep a cool head. You know, take a moment and breathe, collect yourself. Stay cool, calm, and collective, and that's going to help you navigate through this, Leo. But I think I'm going to leave that there. So, yeah, that threw my groove off there, but that's fine. But, Leo, you know, if something resonated with you, you know, if you like this, give it a thumbs up, Leo, and share this. You know, get everyone kind of prepped for any potential, because if we're not in this, it's just something to think about, you know, or just, you know, be mindful, you know, of any kind of situations, people were maybe around, anything along those lines, Leo. Because you got it's a lot of healing cards here, but it's just that random devil moment, you know, in that thunderstorm and the rest. You just be mindful, okay? And then subscribe, hit that bell button. You get notified when I have these videos each week, month, year. You know, I'm doing all types of stuff, Leo. And then as far as social media goes, still got some stuff that I'm cooking up in the background. But the big one that I've been kind of working on is on this app, meditation app, Insight Timer. I created a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a place to drop like positive affirmations, encouraging messages, anything along those lines, Leo. And as it grows, I want to start scheduling like meditation groups and just be a good old time. So again, that's the group. What's the group called? Zodiacs Raising the Vibration, and it's on the app Insight Timer. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, oh yeah, because you have Venus and Cancer there. Come on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here, Leo. Interesting. Okay, so we got the Seven of Wands here in reverse. That's interesting. You know what? While we're talking, or while I'm shuffling for your other oracle card here, this Seven of Wands. Oh, okay. This Seven of Wands for me is really, Leo, protect your energy always, but especially I feel like during this period here, just be mindful of just, take extra stock, of your energy, be aware of where your resources and everything along those lines is. But also, Leo, because for your oracle cards, you got the festival. And this seems like, just with everything that's going down, or possibly, that might be, doing some things, some fun stuff for you. This could be actually going to a literal festival. Maybe you're hosting some type of get together, or just doing things that make you feel just feel good, whether that's creating or whatever, Leo, getting outside, but just doing things like that to just really protect your energies and be mindful of that, okay? Because it just a weird kind of emphasis there. So just, be aware of that, okay? But I think I'm going to leave that there, Leo. Cool. Interesting reading for sure. So you always stay safe out there, but just with this energy, and again, don't feel nervous or anything along those lines. It's something to tarot's just to help you get eyes on things in advance, get you thinking about something. If you see any sort of signs, it's just like, oh, there's that devil moment. We can react to that. So, but yeah, stay safe out there, Leo. And raise your vibration through the roof. And if we're not feeling that, Leo, I got you. Help you raise that vibration. Always, Leo. That's what the constellations here. That's what the soul tribe's here for. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.